Everyone, it's your boy Ricky here with Honeybee Stamps. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We have a new release called Vintage Holiday, and we're going to be making a card using some of those products. We're going to be using the Piece Buzzword Stamp and Die Set. We're also going to be using the Pine Tree die set here, and then also the cover plate Snowflakes. One's a little piercing plate, and the other one cuts out the snowflakes. It's so cute. And we're also going to be using some white paper, some green paper, some light blue paper. We're going to be using all the paper today. And we're also going to be using some inks here and a mini Misty. We're going to be using all the products today, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and cut out the snowflake cover dies. So we're going to take this first layer here, and we're going to put it on the light blue, and we're going to run that through the die cutting machine. And then once we get that through the die cutting machine, we're going to go ahead and take out all the little paper pieces that are on the inside here. And you just poke those out with your little pokey tool or your little pokey fingers, or whatever you have to poke all that out. We do it real quick. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the piercing detail on top of this. Now, the piercing plate does not cut out the frame. It just puts the piercing on the snowflakes. So once we have that done, we have the cover plate finished here, or the cover plate piece of paper. What is this called? The cover panel, I believe is, I guess, what it would be called. We're going to cover it with some Honeybee Stamps glue here, and then we're going to place it down onto the card base. That card base is 110-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. Cut it 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or folded at that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be using the smallest pine trees here. And I'm just checking to see how they'll fit on the card there. We're going to place them on the green paper here. We're going to cut them out, and we'll send them through the die cutting machine. And after we have them through the die cutting machine, we're going to do a little ink blending on these bad boys. So I'm going to place them on my little desk here, and I'm just going to use my Honeybee Stamps brush here, and we are going to place some distressed oxide on this. Now, once we have that on, we're going to spray it with some water and dab that off, and that's going to give it a little bit of, air quotes, snow maybe on it. The next thing we're going to do is cut out the sentiment. This bottom layer here, we're going to cut out a vellum. We're doing a 3-piece of a sentiment here. We'll cut out the word peace in white. We're going to glue that down onto the vellum, and then we also did the word piece, or the smallest piece of this die set, in the light blue that also matches the snowflake cover die. We're going to go ahead and use some Honeybee Stamps glue here and go ahead and get this last piece onto the sentiment, and then that will be completed for the big word sentiment. There we go. We have put it in place here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is cut out the sentiment for this, and we are just going to place that onto a block here, and we're going to use the same green oxide ink that we used for the trees. And I'm just cutting this out here in the paper trimmer, and now we're going to back everything pretty much with 3M foam tape. So now that we have the 3M foam tape on the back of the trees, I'm going to go ahead and place the first one down onto the card. And then here, you're going to see me, I'm going to have to do a little surgery here, you guys. I could not get the small tree to fit on here the way that I wanted without doing the surgery. And so, sometimes you just got to cut and snip and get things right in order so you can get them to look pretty on the outside. So there we go. We have this going onto the card. And now we're going to put some 3M foam tape on the back of the sentiment, and then go ahead and remove the backing of the sentiment so that we can go ahead and get that placed onto the card base here. There we go. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I want it to be. That's where it's going to be. I pressed it down. And then I'm also going to put some 3M foam tape on the back of the sentiment strip here and go ahead and place that onto the card. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little sparkly on here. I brought out some of these iridescent bubbles from Honeybee Stamps, and we're just going to glue that onto the card in between each of the snowflakes that appear on this card. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for supporting Honeybee Stamps. This latest release is so amazing. Such great holiday items. I hope you'll go check it out. Also, make sure that you head over to Instagram and check out all of the different cards that the design team has made for you as well, because we've made a lot of cards for you guys. And then also you can check me out on Instagram and YouTube by going to look for Romero cards. Now that we have this card completed, I'm going to go ahead and put the last few little iridescent bubbles on here and get that glued on. And then the card is complete. I'm going to hold it up for you guys so you can see it here, so we can get a little bit of closer look at it. I love it. Look at the iridescent bubbles. It makes it look so nice. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.